Making these mistakes in your sumo deadlift? Today, let's see if we can fix them. Hey guys, John here from JK Conditioning with bodybuilding.com, and in this video today we're going to be going over 5 tips to clean up your sumo deadlift. If this is your first time here, make sure to subscribe to our channel to keep up to date with our latest fitness videos. Alright, the first tip, don't sit too low. Just because the stance is wider than your hips and your grip is going to be on the inside of the bar, it's not an invitation for you to set up with your hips in a really low position. The reason that we go into a sumo deadlift is because it maximizes our leverages. Some people are going to find the sumo a little bit stronger than the conventional. So this is why some will pull sumo. So when you're setting up, if you sit too low to feel like you think you need to get more quads, what might happen is you might initiate the lift and then the hips will come up and then the bar will start to move. So what happens here is that you're just too low. So the first tip is don't squat your sumo deadlift. The next tip is don't set up too far behind the bar or too far over the bar. So what you want to do after you get your stance, which we'll talk about soon, you want to teeter back and forth so that you can find where you feel balance and the most leverage. So again, if we teeter too far behind the bar, that's going to drop our hips, it's going to bring our shoulders almost above the bar, where if I let go of the bar, it's going to feel like I'm going to fall backwards. If I teeter too far above the bar, forward over the bar, the hips will come up and I'm going to be in a position where it's going to be more of like a stiff leg or just a really bad position sumo. So when you're setting up, teeter back and forth until you feel like you're in the position that when you push the floor away, the bar will move immediately. All right, so tip 3, stack your knees above your ankles. So when grabbing the bar, when you get your stance wider than your shoulders, you gotta make sure your knees are above your ankles. So if you go medium sumo, or what we call like a pseudo sumo, which might be more of a narrow grip like this, a narrow stance, make sure the knees are above the ankles like this. You don't wanna have the knees cave in, and you definitely don't wanna have the knees kind of like above no man's land over here. If you're gonna stand a little bit wider, more of like a traditional sumo, make sure you turn your feet out, you turn your knees out. So again, the knees stack over the ankles here. If you're gonna go ultra wide and you go out here, again, no problem. Just turn your knees out and again, make sure that your knees stack above your ankles. Tip 4, don't pull with a mixed grip. The underhand side, the elbow tends to want to bend. That's going to put a lot of stress through your biceps, which you definitely don't want. I always suggest always pull with a double overhand grip. So you might get to a point though where when you're double overhand that the weight is going to be too much for your grip to handle. So you have 2 options. One, you go to straps. Use straps, that'll help you to keep that grip when the weight gets heavy. If that doesn't work, because you got to compete, hook grip. Double overhand grip. You wrap your thumb around the bar and then you wrap the fingers around the thumb. Hurts if you're not used to it. It does take some getting used to, but that's a way for you to keep that double overhand grip. All right, the last tip, tip 5. Learn how to activate your lats during the ascent, the up phase of the pull. So this is why I wanted you to keep a double overhand grip. You can activate your lats better. When you have one hand underneath like this, it rotates the arm externally this way, and it kind of feels not as good when you're trying to activate those lats. So with that double overhand grip, whether you got straps or you got your hook grip or just your regular grip because the weight's a bit lighter, you want to pull that bar into your body. And it helps to have these shin savers or really high socks that you can pull up so that you can keep that bar super close to the body and then drag it up. So pulling that bar in is going to prevent the bar from moving away from you, which is going to decrease your leverage and decrease your efficiency. A great way to learn how to activate your lats in a sumo deadlift is to wrap bands around the bar that pull the bar away from you. So I would do this during your warm-up sets. So you'd have the band pulling the bar out. When you're getting your setup, you want to activate those lats, brace the abs with that neutral back position, and then execute the rep. The bands are going to want to pull the bar away from you, which will further help you activate your lats. And here's a bonus tip, tip 6. Learn how to anchor your hips in your ideal starting position with 1-inch lift-offs. So when you're setting up, regardless if you're medium stance, wide stance, or just your regular sumo stance, add 1-inch lifts off, 1-inch lift-offs to your warm-up sets. This will teach you how to push the floor away, it'll teach you how to get into your quads, and it'll teach you to start with your hips in the ideal starting position. There you go, guys. That was the video. Hope you found it useful. We'll see you at the next one.